if you see for prelims, generally we go with the concepts, basic concepts in economy. If you see the PYQs, economy covers the basic concepts like money, finance, physical, monetary policy, fiscal policy, DLR, SLR, CRR, budgeting, survey, all those things. We go macro economy on the basis of uh, prelims. But when it comes to mains, you can see we have a lot of topics that are being asked every year, right? Say inclusive growth, sustainable development, infrastructural development. So UPSC wants to address these things compared with the current happenings in the country. So there are general deviation between the prelims and the mains. If you don't read newspapers for the prelims, but if you have a basic idea about what is banking, what is finance, what is fiscal policy, what is import export, what is this banking rates, okay, reverse repo rate, and all these things, then we have budgeting, then we have survey, then we can answer the economy question better, even if you don't read the newspapers, okay? But for mains, if you don't have any idea about what are the current policies, what are the current economic pattern, current economic model that we are doing, and how the government is coping up with the inflation and the deflation and the rates and everything, then you will not be able to write the answers in the mains if you don't cover the newspapers. Fine. So that is the basic difference. So prelims you can answer even if you know the basics, because through the basics you can attempt the question. So this is the major difference between attempting economy in prelims and attempting economy in mains. Okay. So in order to understand the basic concepts, we have, like, there are certain books, right? For Lakshmikant, sorry, for polity, Lakshmikant is the Bible. For geography, Gosheng Leong is the Bible. For history, we have Spectrum by Nitin Singhania, or whatever, Art and Culture by Nitin Singhania. But as such, economy doesn't have a fixed resource like a Bible, because it is both combined as a static and a dynamic one. But if you see, one more thing is, polity is more on the factual basis. Like, you should know what is Article 15. You should know what is DPSP. You should know what is fundamental rights. What is, all these things. But economy is a combination of concepts. Data or the facts are not being asked in economy. They are built on concepts. So this is the two differences that you have to understand with the polity and economy. Okay, because a lot of students, they love polity. They love answering the questions to polity, because I think there is specific things that you can actually read and understand in polity, and you can mark the answers, right? But in economy, it is conceptual based, not factual based. So when it comes to concepts, understanding or grasping the basic concepts and then applying it into the current trend of what is happening in the country, that becomes a tedious job for a lot more people. How many of you face this difficulty? Key factual, yes, I can do it. But when it comes to concepts and applying it on the current affairs and the dynamic one, that becomes a very difficult task for me. Yes, that is why most of the population in UPSC, they either don't like economy, or they just read for the sake of UPSC. But if you really understand the background of economy, you can you can easily score a lot more marks than you think you can score in polity or geography. Okay, so I'll make your job easier today, because I even used to not like economy when I was in the college. But when I was attending the Wajiram Ravi class, when the lecturer was taking for economy, you know I was so much interested कि ये तो मुझे आता है. I know this I have read. Yes, this is the reason. If you hit this hits, Just like tsunami, the first string, like the flow of energy, when there are 5 balls, when the first ball is hit, it reflects in the last ball. So this is what economy is. You should know what is coming and where it is hitting, and what are the different dimensions which are affected through these things. So today we will be discussing more about this, because I want every one of yours 100% attention and 100% cooperation in this. So let us discuss certain case studies which hits the economy, uh, right from history and from the today's perspective. Okay, so how many of you are ready for this? We study about large empires falling uh, due to certain reasons. Okay, it may be invasion, it may be due to lack of resources, or standard or sustainable economic policies. Say for Ashoka, say Akbar. Okay, there are few kings, lot of kings, where they had a golden age in their empire, like the Guptas and the Mauryas. One of the reason for which we learn about these kings and the kingdoms is because they were economically prosperous. How many of you agree with this? Ashoka, he built the Ashokan pillar, he sent mercenaries, converted everyone to Buddhism, and he went Sri Lanka, he sent his daughter and son. And why was this possible? Because he was economically prosperous, right? Even Akbar, if you say, he built the Red Fort. Shah Jahan, he built the Taj Mahal. Why? Economy was at its peak. We in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, we talk about and we read about people traveling, trading. We had cotton, we had coins. Why are those things being discussed? There were even larger kingdoms ruling, but we were not discussing because they were not so prosperous at that time. Even if you see, when it comes to Tamil Nadu, when we talk about Tamil Nadu, what is the kingdom or the ruler comes to your mind first? Chola. Why Chola? Why Chola? They were Pandyas, they were Cheras, they were Pallavas. Why Chola? Because of Rajaraja. What did Rajaraja do? He built the great Brihadishwara temple. One more thing is, when we talk about administration of a particular kingdom, say, what do we talk about? When we cover the administration topic of a kingdom like Ashoka or Akbar or Shah Jahan or Aurangzeb, what do we talk about? Economic condition, social life, land revenues, policies, taxations. Kya land reforms he introduced? How many types of taxes he introduced? Who are the tax collectors? We are reading this economy even from the historical perspective, right? We are not something reading something new. Just, if you see economy as a topic, that will be a very difficult one. But it was there since this Harappa and Mohenjo-daro period, and we know the economy was so prosperous. We had foreign trades, foreign travelers coming in, everyone. We have coins, right? We have evidence of all these things, right, through the foreign travelers also. So economy plays a major role in any country. But who are the taxpayers in India right now? Last year, with the economic survey, around 64% of the middle class and the lower middle class, okay, and a bit of higher middle class people have paid around 15,000 crores as tax. That is 64% of the population have uh, paid 15,000 crores as tax. Only 64%, right? The top billionaires and millionaires of this country, they have a wealth of around 70%, around total of 70% of entire wealth in India are owned by the toppers, the 3 or 4% rich people. They are rich people, and you know how many percent they have paid tax? 3%. So what is happening here? I'll tell you one more news to interlink so that you can understand ki kya ho raha hai. Okay, I'll tell you one or two examples. Just understand the story, you can understand the concept. Don't get deep into it, just understand, just like the basics. And once you understand, it is enough for your prelims or even for the mains. Okay? So don't go deep into it, and it will confuse you if you're non-science background. Black economy. How is black economy functioning in India? I'll tell you that recently Suhana Khan bought 3 bungalows worth 13 crores, and she showed her She registered her as an agriculturalist. As an agriculturist. Why agriculturist? If you register yourself as an agriculturist, what happens in India? Agricultural land is not taxable. That is the exact thing, right? So agricultural land is not taxable. Matlab ki if she represents herself as an agriculturalist, she doesn't have to pay tax. And that bungalow is there in the agricultural land. Matlab ki there is no tax. Maybe merely she would have paid something. And if you see these IPL matches that are going on, the BCCI and IPL matches that are going on, you know how many crores and crores and millions and billions are invested in that? So how many of you understand this? The auction that is happening for Dhoni, for Kohli, or whoever it is. You know how many millions and billions are getting circulated? Do you know how much is the percentage of tax they are paying? It is registered as a charitable trust. So they don't pay any tax. BCCI, IPL. It is a charitable trust. इसीलिए तो the cricketers are becoming crorepati's in hockey match, hockey, the national game of India. They don't get so much, but cricketers are being paid. Why? They are being registered as a charitable trust. Really? They don't pay any tax. But you, me, your father, and my father, they are all paying tax right from their father, they are paying tax. That is the lower income and middle income groups who are contributing to the economy of the country, not the higher income groups. They know how to evade tax. They know how to escape tax. Now, one is tax evasion by the majority of the people, and one is the lower income and middle income groups who are paying the taxes around 15,000 crores. Now, if you see, there is a communal violence happening in India. There is Manipur, and right now, recently, Haryana. Now, when it comes to communal violence and all these things, what happens in the economy? Economy में क्या क्या हो रहा है? एक तो market में चीजें नहीं मिल रही हैं. Next one, hospitals will be filled because there is so much violence. People are getting hurt. They'll be admitted there. Who will invest in those things? Who is going to invest during the communal violence in a city or in a state? Who is going to invest there? Governments, not politicians. It's government. Okay, come out of that. Government. Okay, transport is getting affected. So क्या हो रहा है? Government के लिए income नहीं आ रहा है. एक बगैर there is expenditure in the hospitals, and then loss of lives, and loss of building, loss of buses, loss of cars. You have to rebuild those things. If there is building on fire, you have to invest in the building, rebuilding the infrastructure of that particular place. And then what is happening? You have to invest a lot of things there. It is not only for communal violence. Say, for example, right now, the North India has been flooded. How do you think is it affecting the Indian economy or budgeting? What are the consequences of the disasters that is happening in North India? Heavy flood, flash floods. What is the role of the government there? क्या होता है वहां पे? Medical supplies जाने हैं, disease control जाने हैं, housing they have to provide, food they have to provide because they have moved the entire population from the banks of river to another place. So expenditure increase होते हैं. Then is there any income from that particular area? Say North India mein, is there any income from the government? So how they are going to balance this? There'll be relief fund, yes, but whatever budgeting has been kept for the relief fund, they have to give for all the 28 states in India. It is not only for one particular state, but disasters, they are happening in billions and millions and crores and crores and crores, right? If you estimate every year, due to the Bombay monsoon seasons when the flooding, they are estimated every year around 10,000 crores are being getting lost. They have to build on the infrastructure. They have to build on drainage system. They have to build on disease control, hospitals. They have to invest, food supply, milk. इतने सारे tax, इतने सारे कहाँ से आ रहे हैं? By the 15,000 crores that has been paid by the 64% of the population, the lower income and the middle income. Defense. We are buying Rafale, we are buying MiG and all these things. Where is our budgeting going? Right now, education, afternoon food, midday meal system. फ्री एग्स। इलेक्शन में पॉलिटिशियन बोलेंगे आपको सारे लोग जो भी वोट, इफ वी कम टू पावर वी विल गिव प्रेशर कुकर एवरीवन फ्री। तमिलनाडु में तो होता है मिक्सी फ्री, फैन फ्री, ग्राइंडर फ्री, और क्या लाए थे फ्री में? लैपटॉप यस, साइकिल यस, फ्री फ्री फ्री, ये सारे फ्री। व्हाट इज द कॉस्ट? लाइक वेयर इज द कमिंग फ्रॉम? Where is this coming from? Government budgeting, people tax money. You know, from the we inhale the air till we go to death, till we die, we are paying tax for everything we are using. Shampoo use कर रहे हैं, tax pay कर रहे हैं. Rice use कर रहे हैं, tax pay कर रहे हैं. Vegetables tax, everything tax, right? Income tax and other services tax. So we are just circulating the money. Whatever we are getting, it is going to the government. Again, it is spending on us. Again, we are spending. Again, he is spending. It is the flow of the money that is happening every year. So you have to know ki if there is some problem in the economy, if there is a policy introduction in the economy, say this was a deep discussion happened when the GST was introduced. There were one tax, one India, one tax, right? So they put tax on sanitary pads for 18%. Now it has come to 5%. The basic necessity for a woman has been taxed as 18%. But the cigarettes and the alcohol, they are taxed, 5% and 6%. Fine. So when the government wanted to introduce this low budget sanitary pads to the schools, to the schools, say from starting from 8th standard till 12th standard, government schools में sanitary pads free मिलते हैं. It has been introduced, but it is not yet, there in all the government schools, but it has been introduced. Now, when speaking about the sanitary pads that they are giving, one thing when it is given by the government, it has to be low price, low cost, right? Low price, low cost कम होना चाहिए. उसके लिए we have to have its own, government has to own its own machinery to make the sanitary pads. They have to pack it, they have to send it to the schools. Doesn't stop there. The disposal, the waste disposal, that also has to be done by the government. So you have to have a disposal procedure. When it is disposed, where is those taken to? That is also being taken by the government only. So when government is introducing a policy, say sanitary pads for the girls in the school, what are you going to do? It is just a policy that we are reading ki are yaar ye to ho gaya, abhi tak to nahi chalta hai. Lekin there is a big process, big process that is involved. You have to have raw materials for that, you have to have machineries for that, you have to build it, you have to send it, transport for that to the particular schools, and then you should have a waste disposal mechanism there, the bio wastes and the dry wastes like that. And then how are these wastes disposed outside the school? Where is it being taken and how it is disposed there? Everything has to be considered by the government. Can you think of how major economic chain it is? Where is this money comes from? I'll tell you the Clean India movement that was started by the Modi government. Before we didn't have toilets in all the houses, right? North India mein it is very bad. Even in South India, there are certain places. Even in my father's hometown, it is a very remote village. There is no bathroom. There is a common bathroom. People don't go there. They will defecate in and around the common bathroom and come. There is an open field. They will go and come. And you know what is even in North India, it's still worse. Still worse. UP, Bihar, my God, like they are so economically, socially, backward because government have not responded to that. But right now, the revolution that has happened in the Clean India movement, every ghar mein there should be a toilet. Swachh Bharat, right? What is the cost behind the policy? What are the things that is getting affected in the policy? What are the chain reaction that is happening? You have to have building supplies, you have to have toiletry supplies, the water, the pipe water, you have to have everything, you have to get involved in that. Earlier in North India itself, it is not so much in South India, but in North India, around 27, I don't know whether it is 27 or 37, 37% of the girls who go for defecating outside, they get raped. Look at the things that are hitting. Now, Swachh Bharat, because every ghar has a toilet, people go there. They don't have to go, 3 kilometers outside the village, get raped and come back. See the issues that are touching, even with one Swachh Bharat, how many issues it is facing and how many issues are getting cleared. Now that has to be your dimensions of opening about one particular policy. कि इसके पीछे क्या है and what are the things, other things that are getting affected. Are you able to get it? What I'm trying to tell you? See the social issues, women issues are also covered because of the Swachh Bharat. So क्या क्या मिल रहे हैं? Like what are the things that is being, when a policy is implemented, it is not easy to frame policy. I mean, it is easy, it may be easy to frame policy, but the things that has to be getting implemented, that is the tedious job and it will take some time. Just like Jawaharlal Nehru had 15 consecutive years of rule for him to introduce the 5-year plan, right? There should be one government which has to be in the power for at least 10 to 20 years to bring some changes in the conditions of the people, in the economy, in the social things, infrastructure, everything. So last week in the inner circle call, we had this Bharat Darshan. We saw the Somnath temple. How many of you saw the full video? I don't know because I didn't see. Then Mahakal Ujjain ka temple, we just saw an introduction, then we didn't. But when you are doing such things, when you are renovating Somnath temple, there are crores, 2 crores and 3 crores people visiting there in that particular temple. Look at the infrastructure he has to develop. The clock room facility, the motel or hotel facilities, the food that has to be there, the wastage that is the bathing and the all these things, the wastage that has to be carried out, where they have to dispose all these things. They have to plan each and everything. It is not that it's just built and they aisa ho gaya. Aisa nahi hota hai na. When you are in a responsible country, if you are a collector over that district, think about how many things you have to see and approve and you have to get it done by the people. It is not easy. How many of you think it is very easy? Governance and bureaucracy. Governance is all planning. Bureaucracy, you people are going to implement it. तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि if you are taking this step, what are all the going to hit it. सोसाइटी में क्या होने वाला है, बजटिंग में क्या होने वाला है, infrastructure में what is going to happen, what is going to affect the people, how it is going to affect the health, how is it going to affect the other areas. Everything you have to know. That is why I'm asking you to think on all the dimensions. Swachh Bharat is not only for cleaning the India. Okay, it is not the health policy or clean policy. It is also the social conditions of the women. It has improved. Now people are more happier going to the toilet at their house than walking there. So when you are starting to study this, I want you to think in these terms that we have discussed today, so that you cover the entire topic with some examples of case studies or current affairs things that is happening in India. So that is why I put up certain 4 to 5 topics so that you can understand how you can open up your dimensions in thinking. It is not only this, there are other things that are being affected. As I always told you, already actually told you about the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the statue. What and all it is happening just because of the statue. By building the statue, it has given employment to so many people, to the villages around. Right now, the tourists are exploring and investment is coming. Tourism has increased. The villages in and around the Sardar Vallabhbhai statue, it is in the tribal area, so tribal development is happening there. Infrastructure is also being developed because you have to have road connectivity to reach the tourist space, and you will have transport facility also. So all these things are getting developed. You have sanitation. You should know about what is the waste disposal procedure. So many things, hospitals, yes, first aid, ambulance, everything has to be there. So you have to understand one simple activity, how it is triggering or what are the ripple effects that is happening in and around.